Hi everyone, how did your Monday go? Probably a little weird because of the time, the daylight savings time and everything. I don't even know why we do that. There are other states that don't, and I don't know. It's just, it messes up your schedule. You don't feel right for a couple of weeks. It's really hard on kids and pets and people like me and you. So, anyway, we got through it. So, on Watts Island, I often comment on how odd it was that Shanann Watts purported to live this wonderfully healthy lifestyle due to the MLM brand that she was selling that gave her everything she ever wanted and to have a dream life and everything she said. And she only sold that stuff because she just wanted to help others, and she helped them right to their wallets. Problem is that she wasn't really working out. She would have Christopher Watts post that they had both just taken a run and stage her tennis shoes and whatnot. Because everything was staged for those commercials, for the MLM, as it may be. So I got to thinking, because in one of the barrage of rage texts in the Discovery, had Shanann talking about how extremely constipated she was, that in fact she had not had a bowel movement in 10 days. That's not healthy. Please consult your doctor if you have not had a bowel movement in 10 days. You should produce one every 24 hours per Google, but there are exceptions to this. So as I have stated that several times, what do you know? The Google popped an advertisement up last night that said almost that verbatim. It said, have you not taken a bowel movement in 3 days, 5 days, even 10 days? Have you went 10 days without a bowel movement? And I was like, well, no, but thanks for asking. And I was thinking, but I know somebody who did because it's in the Discovery, because, those are the kinds of things that the investigators really focused in on, and we should be so proud of them for all of those things that they did with Trent Bolt and, making sure that Christopher Watts was up to date with his CPR class, et cetera, that tough detective work that we saw talking about in that sausage party. News conference that we saw. So, anywho, as it may be, this commercial went on to say that I'm sipping my hot chocolate, which may or may not be a metaphor for what we're speaking about right now. Anyway. So, this commercial went on to say that, in fact, people thought that Elvis died from heart issues, heart attack, living the lifestyle, a polydrug mixture, etc. And a lot of people don't even believe that Elvis died, that, he is, in fact, among us. There have been many Elvis sightings. Perhaps him and Bigfoot and JFK all are hiding out on an island somewhere. Who knows, right? So, she went on to say that Elvis Presley died of constipation and that his bowel was dilated up to 6 inches in width, whereas she stated the bowel should only be dilated to 2 inches. And she said something more about the length and whatnot, and of the bowel, and how basically I learned all I ever needed to know from that commercial. I got to thinking, you know what? I didn't think that Elvis Presley's cause of death had ever been truly revealed. And could a commercial be wrong? Like an infomercial for constipation? Because basically it's telling you to do this one system to give your bowels a pressure washing. Kind of like, the lifestyle MLM stuff, it says that you're supposed to be so healthy and you're doing all of this and all of those ones, because it's basically a lot of them there's some of them who are actually causing the lining of the bowel to slough off. So people are losing weight, just like in the 50s with the diet pills that sold so well, because they contained a tapeworm in them. So are some of these MLM diet fads akin to some of the things that have happened in the past, okay? So maybe it just makes you lose pounds that way. Either way, if you're living a healthy lifestyle and you're purporting that, you should drink these shakes, eat this food, etc., because it makes you so healthy that, as in her case with her health challenges, where she stated that she had lupus and she was taking 25 pills a day for lupus. And once she started this MLM, she did not have to take 25 pills for her lupus. In fact, that certain MLM that she was selling, she started doing the shakes, the stickers, and the food, whatever, right? And so she was so healthy, she didn't have to take 25 pills, and she could be a good mom for a child like Cece. Her words, not mine. Okay? So I got to thinking in that. This is what she's telling everybody that she's selling. So she's out there selling this to everybody, saying how healthy she is and this wonderfully healthy lifestyle that they live and everything, all because of them changing everything to fit this lifestyle. And because of this, because she eats and this and everything. If that were true, then why was she complaining so much about how sick she was, how dehydrated she was, and that she hadn't been able to crank one out for 10 days? If you are promoting a product, telling me that it makes you so healthy and that I should give you my hard-earned money too, is it healthy if you can't poop for 10 days? Do you want to be like Elvis and die in a bathroom alone and have everybody find you on the loo? Why was it that she was saying this on these commercials that she had on her Facebook of this healthy living lifestyle, but then to all of her friends, she's sitting there complaining about she needs to go to the hospital and everything? Well, yeah, okay, you're going to argue and say, but she was pregnant and she had high-risk pregnancy and she shouldn't be pregnant from her illness. But you know what? There was no records to ever show that she had that illness. She had not been to an internal medicine provider in over 2 years at the time of her demise, and she had not yet received obstetrical care, which you would think one would if they were indeed having a chronic, terrible illness such as lupus, which causes your body to attack itself. So therein, if you are pregnant, it can be a very dangerous situation, as your body can see the pregnancy as an alien and start attacking it as well. Oh, isn't it odd that she hadn't even been to the doctor and she was purporting that she was 15 to 16 weeks pregnant? She was saying that she was so sick. Her friends were all trying to make her eat and drink. She said she was dizzy, nauseated, spotting, vomiting, was dehydrated. But yet she didn't go to the emergency room or a doctor in the area because she said she was out of network. But if she worked for a children's hospital, taking phone calls, about 2 years it seemed, and she purported that she was in fact in a registered nurse program, wouldn't you think that that would give you the insight to know that if those things were actually happening, that it would not matter if you were out of network because the priority would be on your life and the baby's life? And if you were in fact such a good mother that people strive to be just like her to this day, Wouldn't it be a good mother thing to do to check on the status of your unborn baby if you were not able to eat, dizzy, spotting, dehydrated, hadn't pooped in 10 days? These are the things I wonder. How could one be true? And if you're selling this thing that you're saying makes you so healthy, well, you're not healthy if you can't eat, you're throwing up, you're spotting, but you can't even afford to go to the doctor, or you're out of network. Okay? This doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. So how was this healthy lifestyle going if you can't eat and you can't poop? What was that actually doing? We know that it was doing something odd to Christopher because he was doubled up. She put 2 silly stickers on him because the one didn't work. He was starting to malfunction again. So she slapped another one on him. Did you ever hear about the time that she brags about when she beat his ass all the way out to the front porch and locked the door? Didn't let him back in until he could behave. She liked the 2 stickers on him because he only slept 3 hours a night. This went on for months and months. So he is so sleep deprived, he doesn't know what's going on. He thinks demons are controlling his actions. She can't poop or eat. And everybody's thinking, wow, they live this great, healthy lifestyle. They were just so clean with this lifestyle thing, you know? Does that make you want to buy into anything they're selling when you know the facts and you see what they were actually texting back and forth? Or make me want it. I think I'd be very uncomfortable if I had not voided in 10 days, in fact. So, this is going to be a crossover event because I got that commercial and it got to making me thinking about all this. And then I got that, in my head and I'm like, okay, so Elvis actually died of constipation? Who knew? I knew that he was like straining on the toilet. So I thought that it was ruled that he had an embolism or whatever. But now if he was living that rock star lifestyle, taking the drugs to pop him up and then taking the drugs to bring him back down, those aren't good on your gut motility at all. Taking opioids really slows down the system. So I know that somebody was very, very concerned about the bottle of oxycodone in her purse, Percocet, if we will. How did she have a bottle of Percocet that NA needed to check to be sure was still there when she hadn't seen a doctor in 2 years? Why did she run to see if that bottle was still there? Did she think that maybe SW was feeling like she was going to unalive herself? Did she threaten to unalive herself? Is that why NA ran and was going through the purse feverishly, looking and checking how many oxycodone were there? Where was that oxycodone from? We know that Christopher admitted that he gave her a shake with several of those pills in it. Exactly what he was planning on doing there, and that speaks to his state of mind, which is not good. But it's also not good. You're saying that everybody should buy this lifestyle product from you. And it's made you so perfect that you can be this fun mom and be a good mom to a child like Cece. Was it just the Percocet that made her be a good mom? Makes you wonder, right? So, as we know, narcotics, opioids, are known to cause constipation. Was that causing the constipation in Shanann? Shouldn't she have let the doctor know? But she wasn't going to a doctor. That's the crazy part in all of this, right? So I'm going through all of these thoughts and I'm going, how does this make sense? She's so healthy and eating these MLM things and has a hoard for the apocalypse down in their basement, probably about 25 to 30 grand worth of product. that she had to buy so that she could qualify for ranks that she didn't earn, so that she could use Christopher's money to buy airplane tickets and go to the retreats that she didn't qualify for, but she was there. Hey, you know, even Christopher Watts alone to be the primary caretaker of the children. But hey, so the one thing I could figure out is I went to the Google machine and asked how Elvis died, and I found out, whoa, there's a death cover up with Elvis. Who knew, right? I mean, I know that's a shocking thing to you all. But I was looking at this because, I'm just questioning everything now, whether it's Facebook posts, whether it's people saying that, they take this product and it makes them feel so good that I should buy it too and slap a sticker on myself. And what do you know? I'm not eating or pooping. I'm not even human. I'm a robot now. So, it says here, we're going to do a crossover event from Watts Island to Elvis. Elvis, did you die of constipation? I went everywhere. I couldn't find Elvis's death certificate. Couldn't find cause of death for Elvis. This is what I found, and this explains maybe a little bit of it. So just in case you guys are wondering this at 3 a.m. too, I wanted you to know. I will impart you with this knowledge. Okay, so it says here in this article from Woman's Day, and it is dated February 14th, 2021. So actually 2 years ago, and I'm just getting around to reading it now. So guess I'm a little behind in the news, right? And there's Elvis with that pouty look. And, sadly, his daughter just passed away. She was so beautiful. So we've got this cross-looking doctor in this circle right below the picture of Elvis. And it reads, Elvis Presley didn't die from a heart attack or drug overdose, but from a brain injury he sustained 10 years earlier that eventually led to his death on August 16, 1977. That date, August 16th, 1977, is one of those things that I probably just said to you and you just had this thought, like, I remember where I was at. I remember what I was doing. Me too. I remember I was in my grandmother's house and this came across the TV. They had one of those TVs that, the big one that's like on the ground and you turn it on and it makes that big boom sound. You get the little ants first and everything. And, back then they didn't have TV on 24 hours a day. It would actually go off. You'd have the national anthem and it would go dark after midnight. But this came across and everybody stopped talking in the family and everybody was like, oh my God, So this states here that it wasn't what the infomercial said and it wasn't what I had previously thought. So here we go. Let's check this out. It says here, and this is the claim that has recently resurfaced from prominent Californian physician Dr. Forrest Tennant, who viewed Elvis's sealed autopsy report, a document that's been kept secret by the U.S. government at his family's request since his death. What? So you can say, I want this sealed. And it is, as the family of Elvis? I didn't know that. I thought that death reports were able to be procured for everybody. It says the report is set to be released in 2027. So essentially what? They put a 50-year, 77, 2027. 50? Yeah, a 50-year thing on it. Well, so, I'm going to be waiting with bated breath until that date because I wanted to see if it was indeed constipation, like the infomercial said. Because if so, then he was feeling like Shanann, who had not pooped in 10 days, and he was just like that. And how do we even know that it wasn't that extreme constipation that, had a factor in her passing? Her alcohol level was 3 times that of the normal limit. So how do you have triple the amount of alcohol in you that you couldn't drive with when you're a pregnant lady. Still doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to anybody. And there's not a medical examiner that will actually look you in the eye and say that that's actually from decomp in less than 48 hours. That's why they had it all set up to have news conferences on just that question when it was posed. And that's why they spent the rest of their investigation going around to everybody that Shanann had ever dined with to see if she had drank while they dined. Because that was somehow relevant as to what happened that night. What if they would have said, oh yeah, she tips them back? What difference does it make? They were still going to say, oh, it's from decomposition. So I guess you're drunk while you're decomposing. Who knew? Oh, anyway, a report is set to be released in 2027. Though medical professionals have been permitted to view the findings over the years, including Dr. Tennant, who cited the report in 1981. At the time, he was defending Elvis's doctor, George Nicopolis, accused of over-prescribing medication to the singer at the time of his death. Oh, there's some tea here. And cause of death. Dr. Tennant claims the king did not die from hypertensive heart disease, as was cited by Memphis medical examiner Dr. Jerry Francisco on his death certificate, but from a serious head injury he sustained a decade earlier in 1967, which made his immune system start to fail, leading to health issues that killed him. That's... wonder if his arm is sore from that reach. Let's see here. Well, let's see, they got a little picture here. I've got a mouthful of hot chocolate covered marshmallows. That's why I'm talking like I have a mouthful of marshmallows, because I do. And what goes on to say. In 1967, Elvis tripped on the cord of a TV set in a Hollywood hotel room, knocking himself out on the bathtub. Well, shit. What were they doing having an electrical cord by a bathtub anyway? This could have went sideways so many different ways. Okay, he could have totally been electrocuted at this rate. I mean, and might have popped the 10-day-old turd out of him. Who knows? I mean, it could have been good and bad. But this goes on to say, Dr. Tennant claims that after viewing his autopsy results, which he shared in a 2013 medical paper, he suspects the head injury Elvis sustained caused brain tissue to dislodge and travel into his bloodstream, causing his immune system to reject the foreign body. Okay, I get it. And I just drew that whole thing together, popped it all together. Like I can do everything from Watts Island to Elvis, just like that when I was talking about lupus, the body attacking itself. It's an autoimmune. And here you go. I did this here to Elvis. I just married Elvis to Watts Island. And I take a frickin' bow. I did it. Have some more marshmallows. Oh, this in turn could trigger, ready? I gotta swallow the marshmallows to say this word. Hypogammaglobulinemia. Say that 10 times fast and backwards. How about that? Hypogammaglobulinemia. Globulinemia? Hypogammaglobulinemia. Anemia. Hypogammaglobulinemia. Yeah, that word right there. MISSISSIPPI. an immune system disorder that can give rise to a raft of considerable health issues. All right. All right. We'll go there. So, all right. The marshmallow mouth party is over. Here we are. Plagued by ill health. In the late 1960s, Elvis suffered from a range of serious health concerns, including chronic pain, diabetes, insomnia, vertigo, and high blood pressure, a condition he was hospitalized for in 1975, where it was discovered he also suffered from high cholesterol and a condition called megacolon, whereby the large intestine becomes swollen and can allow toxins to flow to the body. Toxins to flow the body. And there he is. You know, they say that if you have a backup and you haven't, pooped for, many days, that you wake up and you would have shit breath because it's like sitting there. So it's not like, your body is like flowing. So I can't imagine that he had very good breath. I could imagine that he might have smelled like cow shit. So anyway, here it is right here. And in quotations, air quotations here. I don't want to flail my hands too much because then I push stop recording and we all know that then I have to make this into part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4. So, no, says in quotations, Elvis did not die from hypertensive heart disease. Elvis also had emphysema at the time of his death, although he never smoked. He was just 42 when he was found face down on the bathroom floor of his Graceland home, appearing to have fallen from his toilet. It was believed he suffered a heart attack, and an autopsy showed he had a cocktail of drugs in his system, which may have contributed to his death. Could you imagine how embarrassing that would be? That you are sitting there trying to hatch a turd and maybe he just really just bore down and that's that. So, you'd be caught with your pants down, literally. Aaron Carter recently passed, as we all know, and his death scene photos are quite disturbing, as there is feces smeared all over the floor and on the walls and to the door as well. I'm waiting on his toxicology to do more on that story, but the pictures that I saw are indicative of something not being right with his motility also. Moral of the story here is, if you are taking narcotics or not, and you have not had a bowel movement in 24 to 48 hours, you must take action to make sure that you do. In the olden days, we would just have to go and eat some prunes. Like, go to the store, get some dried prunes, right? Drink some prune juice. Oh, do you remember when our moms used to make us do that when we were in grade school? Or maybe it was just in my neighborhood. But drink some prune juice. Eat a handful of macadamia nuts. I'm not even kidding. Take a Dulcolax pill. Maalox powder. Maalox, I don't know. Miralax powder. Doesn't taste like anything. Just mix it into a drink. It's not a big thing. You don't need to resort to anything too drastic at that 24 to 48 hour mark. Just make that a priority. Put it on the to-do list that you've got to hatch one out, okay? Don't do what Shanann Watts and obviously Elvis did, because it's just, like I say, bad breath. No. You're going to have a turd so big, you're going to have to freaking name it. And, give it a last name. I don't know. You just can't go 10 days. Just don't do it. Okay. It's just not good. And so now it says here, the star took a huge, you thought I was going to say dump pump. No. The star took a huge array of drugs later in life. The 1981 court case, it was asserted, in the 1981 court case, it was asserted that in the first 8 months of 1977 alone, Elvis was prescribed 10,000 doses of sedatives, amphetamines, and narcotics, all in Elvis's name. Okay, let me just think about that one more time. 8 months, 10,000 pills. Let's grab my handy dandy calculator here. Okay, so we go 10,000. That's one more zero there. And we divide it by 8. That's 1,250 pills a month. So then let's see here. Let's divide that by 4. Let's do that. So that is 312 and a half pills a week. Let's divide that by 7 and go, hold on. 10,000 divided by 8 equals 1,250. Divided by 4 equals 312. So then if we divide that into 7, that means that he would need to be taking 44.64 pills a day. So let's break that down into like 8 hours, right? Let's see, 4 hours. Let's do that. Let's divide it by 4. So let's go 4. Means he would need to be taking 11 pills every 4 hours. Right? Something like that. God. Yeah. 11 pills every 4 hours. You know what? There's like these things that are in our environment now from things that have gotten flushed down that just kind of like go like toilet paper and things like that, and there's things and fats and stuff. They're called a fatberg, and they're just things that won't break down because some things were never meant to be flushed, and toilet paper doesn't degrade that much. And you just got to think that, you know what, and Elvis, if he was taking all of these pills, I mean, if we go to how many pills I just said, he's taking 44 a day. If he hadn't crapped in 10 days, according to that infomercial, he would have had, what, 4 pills in his gut alone. You know, the capsules probably wouldn't be broken down. His body wasn't metabolizing everything. I mean, I wouldn't be one to say that an infomercial would make things up to sell things. I mean, do people make things up to sell things? I mean, like MLMs, do they make up health claims with health challenges to make you buy things? I mean, I wouldn't think that they would, right? I mean, did this person making the infomercial take a peek at Elvis's death certificate as well? And it said he had not taken a shit in 10 days? Like I say, where were all those pills going? Well, they were all stuck in there. Maybe it was just a big frickin' fatberg of pills stuck in his colon. Good Lord. And how were they even affecting him by this point? Because they weren't metabolizing. So sedatives, amphetamines, and narcotics. So he's they've also taken uppers and downers and everything. And it's like, well, if they were all in the colon, they weren't going through his liver and and then if this toxic megacolon condition was putting out the toxins throughout his body, his pores and everything. He probably really honestly smelled like a big turd. I'm not being disrespectful, but if you eat garlic and stuff, and it goes through your pores and onions and everything. If your body is not passing, the contents of your colon, well, it's coming out your pores. So it says, according to sources, the singer, who weighed 159 kilograms at his death, would regularly barricade himself in his bedroom for months at a time, gorging on trays of cheeseburgers. Now, I heard that he liked peanut butter and banana sandwiches. I didn't know he was gorging on cheeseburgers. Same thing if they're not passing. You're just eating them and they're sitting there. Man, 10 days, they'd have to put a freaking cork up there, like a wine bottle. I mean, and he had enough money to, get doctors to be like, get this thing out. I guess it happens a lot in boot camp when men go in the military and they're just exercising so much and they're eating and they're processing all those calories and everything. They're not getting the roughage and stuff. Oh, that's another thing you should do. You should eat roughage. You should eat lots of fruits and vegetables. What do they say? Seven different fruits and vegetables a day? Try to get as many different colored ones in there too. Eat a rainbow of fruits and vegetables. Roughage is very good to keep the body flowing, if you will. Says here, as a result of his diet, he suffered chronic constipation, which gave rise to the theory that Elvis may have passed away after straining on the toilet. So trays of cheeseburgers and pills? Hundreds of pills and trays of cheeseburgers just sitting there not coming out? Great. I can't imagine even what a burp would smell like. It'd knock people over, I bet. Dan Warlick, chief investigator for the Tennessee office of the state chief medical examiner, who attended the autopsy, gave weight to this theory, explaining that the strain could have compressed the singer's abdominal aorta, shutting down his heart. Okay. So got to wait a few more years to look at the whole autopsy to figure this out. I'm here for the long haul. We'll figure this out. But how did we just go from a brain injury to back to what we're talking about in the infomercial? I don't know. To you? This is a whole domino theory. A whole domino theory. But especially in Shanann Watts' case, if you are pregnant, it is very important to know that you are, as we call it in healthcare, your intake and your output is real close to the same. What you're putting in should come out, in and out. Okay? So if you're not voiding, the fetus isn't voiding. The fetus has the amniotic fluid that's, swallowing it and beginning, to the kidneys and liver and everything of the little one in there is working and filtering, and that needs to be clean. So you want to be just this kind of vessel of all good things coming in and coming out. And as so many things on Watts Island are a teaching model, I just feel that people see the infomercials that she was posting, that she could be a good mommy because she does this and she does that. And if you sell an MLM, you can be just like her too and be a robot. And no, the truth of the matter is that she was a very unhappy person who was not telling the truth. And she was very constipated. Freud would have had a heyday with this, saying, this is the picture of somebody who is anal retentive. It right out there, anal retentive. Literally holding on to anal contents. Starts in toilet training days. That's where Freud believes everything happened. I've told you guys about Freud before, but the man was afraid of houseplants, so how can I take him seriously? But so much of our modern psychology, even to this day, is based on Freud's theories. So there we are, stuck with it. I just wanted to hop in here and give you that little push, if you will, to remind you all to be regular. And don't go 10 days. And don't go buying any MLM that doesn't sound like it makes you regular at all. That if somebody's saying that it does all this, but you take a look at them and they look like they're not doing so hot, look at how they're really looking. It's very sad that people can't see the truth no matter what. I'm trying to break down the lies. Getting there. Thanks to all of you. Thank you. I lost a sub last night. I don't know what happened. I was at 963. Now I'm at 962. I don't know what happened. Maybe somebody's account. Maybe they closed it. I don't know. Or maybe I said something that upset them. I do apologize. But let's get me to 1,000 for F's sake, because then I can get YouTube to monetize me. Yeah, there's going to be some videos that they're going to say, no, we would never, ever want to hear this again or give you any money for it. But there's going to be some that they're going to be okay on. And that's great, because I would like to not stress at the gas pump. I was going to say not stress when I have to get gas, but when this whole topic, you know what I mean? I just want a little gas money. I want to be able to go to Starbucks and not feel guilty. Just a little coffee money, just a little gas money. I don't need or want anything else. I just want to be able to have a full tank of gas and be able to buy the occasional coffee and not feel guilty. That's all I ask. So with that, have a happy Tuesday. I would say see you next Tuesday, but you all know what that stands for, don't you? If you don't, think about it. Think about it. And then the next person that you talk to that you don't really like, you just be like, okay, see you next Tuesday. And in your head be like, C-U-N-T, see? There, that's the kind of stuff that's not going to get me monetized. Anyway, I hope you all have a great day. I am working on another story, as you know. But this one just popped up, literally popped out. Something needed to happen. So, on that note, please like, please subscribe, please. Thank you. Over and out. Bye-bye.